There is a woman in her early 60s who used to fall asleep the moment her head touched the pillow. For most of her life, sleep came naturally, almost effortlessly. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Nights became longer, sleep became lighter. She would wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and just lie there, staring into the dark, waiting for rest that never seemed to return. At first, she thought it was just stress, then age, then something she had no control over. But what she didn't realize was this. Some of the smallest habits in her daily life were quietly shaping the way she slept every single night. As we get older, many things in the body begin to change. Most of these changes happen slowly, so slowly in fact, that we barely notice them at first. Sleep is one of those things. It rarely disappears suddenly. Instead, it begins to shift. Night by night, almost invisibly, sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented, less predictable. Many people describe the experience in a very similar way. They say they still go to bed at the same time. They follow the same evening routine. Nothing about their schedule seems very different. And yet, something feels off. They wake up more often during the night. They struggle to fall back asleep. And when morning comes, they don't feel truly rested. Even after spending hours in bed, the day begins with fatigue, a kind of tiredness that is difficult to explain. What makes the situation more confusing is that many people believe this is simply a normal part of aging, something unavoidable, something that happens to everyone. And because of that belief, they stop searching for answers. But the truth is more complex. Yes, aging does influence sleep. The body gradually produces less melatonin. The internal biological clock begins to shift, and the brain becomes more sensitive to small disturbances. But these biological changes are only part of the story. There is another factor that often goes unnoticed: daily habits. As we grow older, our everyday routines begin to influence sleep more strongly. Small behaviors that once had very little impact suddenly start to matter more. The time we wake up, the amount of natural light we see during the day, how much movement we get, even the way we spend our evenings. All of these elements quietly shape the rhythm of the body. And when that rhythm becomes disrupted, sleep begins to suffer. The challenge is that these changes happen gradually. There is no clear moment when everything shifts. Instead, it feels like a slow transition, one that is easy to ignore until it becomes a consistent problem. And by the time many people begin paying attention, they often feel as though they have lost control over something that once felt natural. But what if that control was never completely lost? What if it was simply influenced by things we stopped noticing? The woman who struggled with sleep eventually decided to take a closer look at her daily routine, not in a dramatic way. She didn't suddenly change her entire lifestyle. Instead, she started with something much simpler: observation. She began paying attention to the small patterns of her day, the little habits she had repeated for years without thinking about them. The first thing she noticed was her mornings. Most days began quietly inside the house. The curtains stayed closed. The room remained dim. She would make coffee, sit down, and slowly begin her day without stepping outside. Hours could pass before she saw real sunlight. At the time, it never felt like a problem. In fact, it felt comfortable, peaceful. But when she looked more carefully, she realized something important. Her body rarely experienced the natural signal that morning light provides. The signal that tells the brain the day has begun. Her afternoons followed a similar pattern. They were calm, slow, and mostly sedentary. She spent time reading, watching television, sometimes working on small tasks around the house. There was nothing unhealthy about these activities, but there was also very little movement, very little energy being used. And then came the evenings. After dinner, she often relaxed with her phone, scrolling through social media, watching short videos, answering messages. Sometimes she lost track of time. An hour could pass, sometimes 2. Only when she began to feel tired would she finally decide to go to bed. None of these habits seemed harmful on their own. Each one felt completely normal. But when she stepped back and looked at the full picture, a pattern began to appear. Her body wasn't receiving clear signals about when to be awake and when to rest. There was no strong difference between daytime and nighttime, no rhythm guiding her internal clock. So she decided to experiment with small changes, nothing extreme, just gentle adjustments. In the mornings, she opened the curtains as soon as she woke up. She allowed natural sunlight to fill the room. Sometimes she even stepped outside for a few minutes, just enough to feel the morning air. During the day, she added short walks, not long workouts, just simple movement, 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there. And in the evenings, she slowly reduced her screen time. Instead of scrolling on her phone, she began reading a book or listening to soft music, something calm, something quiet. The changes felt small, almost insignificant, and at first, nothing seemed different. But gradually, her body began to respond. She started feeling sleepy at more consistent times. Her nights became calmer, she woke up less frequently, and over time, sleep began to feel natural again. What surprised her most was not just the improvement. It was the realization that something so frustrating had been influenced by small choices she never thought about before. Poor sleep is often underestimated, especially when it develops slowly. Most people do not notice the change right away. Instead, they gradually adjust. They learn to function while feeling slightly tired. They accept fatigue as part of everyday life. At first, it may not seem like a serious problem, but over time, the effects begin to accumulate. Sleep is one of the most important processes the body performs. During sleep, the brain organizes memories, the body repairs tissues, hormones regulate mood, energy, and metabolism. The immune system restores balance. When sleep becomes consistently disrupted, these systems cannot function as effectively. The first changes are often subtle. Memory may feel slightly less sharp. Concentration may become more difficult. Tasks that once felt simple may require more effort. Energy levels gradually decline. But the impact is not only physical. Sleep also plays a major role in emotional well-being. When nights are restless, frustration often follows. People begin worrying about whether they will sleep. They watch the clock. They become anxious as bedtime approaches. Ironically, this anxiety can make sleep even harder. The mind remains alert. The body stays tense. And the cycle continues. For older adults, the consequences of poor sleep can be even more significant. Fatigue increases the risk of falls. Reaction times become slower. Balance becomes less stable. Low energy often leads to less physical activity. And reduced activity can affect overall health. It becomes a cycle. Poor sleep leads to less movement leads to poorer sleep. Over time, this pattern can quietly affect quality of life. Not suddenly, but steadily. Days begin to feel shorter, motivation becomes lower. Activities that once felt enjoyable may start to feel exhausting. This is why understanding the connection between daily habits and sleep is so important, because the solution is not always complicated. Breaking the cycle does not necessarily require drastic changes. Sometimes it begins with something much smaller, a few simple adjustments, habits that help the body rediscover its natural rhythm. And when that rhythm returns, sleep often follows. Improving sleep does not always require complex solutions. In many cases, the body already knows how to sleep well. It simply needs the right signals. And those signals often come from small, consistent habits. One of the most powerful influences on sleep is light. Natural sunlight, especially in the morning, plays an essential role in regulating the body's internal clock. When the eyes detect morning light, the brain receives an important message. The day has begun. This signal helps reset the body's natural rhythm. It prepares the body to feel awake during the day and sleepy when night arrives. Without this signal, the body's timing can become confused. Days may feel sluggish. Nights may feel restless. Movement is another key factor. Physical activity helps the body use energy during the day. This natural energy cycle makes it easier to relax later at night. The activity does not need to be intense. Gentle movement can be enough. A short walk outside, light stretching, simple household activities, even small amounts of movement can make a difference. Evening habits are equally important. Modern screens emit bright light that stimulates the brain. Phones, tablets, and televisions can make the mind feel alert when it should be slowing down. Reducing screen exposure before bedtime allows the brain to transition into a calmer state. Creating a relaxing evening environment also helps. Soft lighting, quiet surroundings, comfortable temperature. These small details signal to the body that the day is ending, that it is time to rest. But perhaps the most powerful habit of all is consistency. Going to bed at the same time each night, waking up at the same time each morning. This pattern trains the body to expect sleep at regular intervals. Over time, the rhythm becomes automatic. Sleep begins to arrive more naturally. These habits may seem simple, almost too simple. But together, they form a powerful foundation, a rhythm that supports the body's natural ability to rest. Sleep is often treated as something that either works or doesn't. Something we either have or lose. But in reality, sleep is not so rigid. It is responsive. It quietly responds to the way we live. Every habit we repeat sends signals to the body. Some of those signals encourage rest. Others unknowingly disrupt it. Over time, these signals shape our experience of sleep, often without us even realizing it. This is why sleep problems can feel so confusing. There is rarely one single cause. Instead, it is usually a collection of small influences. Small patterns repeated day after day. The story of struggling with sleep is not unusual. Many people experience the same frustration. They lie awake at night wondering what changed, why something that once felt effortless now feels difficult. But the story also reveals something hopeful. Change is possible, not through drastic measures, not through complicated solutions, but through awareness, through understanding how daily habits shape the body's rhythm. When we begin to notice these patterns, we gain the opportunity to adjust them, to support the body rather than work against it. Sometimes the changes are small, opening the curtains in the morning, taking a short walk during the day, reducing screen time before bed, creating a calm evening routine. Individually, these habits may seem insignificant, but together, They form a pattern, a rhythm that allows the body to return to what it naturally knows how to do. Rest, because in the end, sleep is not only about the night. It is also about the day that comes before it. And sometimes, the simplest habits can make the greatest difference.